there's now a top tier in this race, at least for now, of Romney, Perry, and Bachmann.
I mean, I think that's fair to say.
Really fair to say? You're not forgetting, I don't know, anyone, say an ideologically consistent 12-term congressman who came within less than 200 votes of winning the straw poll? Isn't anyone going to give that gentleman a little love?
There's a top tier now of Bachmann and Perry and Romney, and, you know, we haven't mentioned, and we should.
Thank you.
We haven't mentioned, and we should, Rick Santorum, who did really surprisingly well for the amount of money and resources he had.
We're looking at Mitt Romney, who continues to be the front runner, but we have Rick Perry as well, and now Michelle Bachmann. Let's not count out John Huntsman, though.
What? This pretending Ron Paul doesn't exist for some reason has been going on for weeks.
A new Gallup survey showing Rick Perry running second to Mitt Romney, knocking down Iowa favorite Michelle Bachmann to fourth.
Behind who? Fourth behind who? How did libertarian Ron Paul become the 13th floor in a hotel?
What you got to tell me what you think of this headline in something called the Daily Caller. Quote, poll, Romney leads New Hampshire, Huntsman third, Perry fourth. Now, do they know how to count? Why would they omit saying who was in second?
Well, you know why? Ron Paul.
But is there a media bias against him? Just from the media's point of view, isn't he good for the media because he challenges Republican orthodoxy and causes debate and generates and stimulates the discussion about ideas that the other Republicans don't want to talk about?
Well, that's right. And it's because the other Republicans don't want to talk about it. It's because he is such an extraordinary candidate that the mainstream media doesn't pay attention. They don't believe that Ron Paul, with his libertarian bent, could actually be the GOP nominee. To the contrary, every time Ron Paul comes out, attracts huge crowds, gets numbers that are sufficient in the polls to say this could be your Republican nominee.
And Ron Paul will win a straw poll, and they will mention second, third, fourth, and fifth place and not even mention him, treating you like you're a low-grade, sniveling moron. This is what they do. And Fox, Ron Paul got more than half the votes on their poll, so they just pulled the poll. 30-something thousand, he had almost 17,000 votes of like 31,000. They do it everywhere. They do it, and they tell you, he can't win. He can't win. You want the guy that offered the health care bill, Mitt Romney. He's got nice hair.
Another question about electability. Do you have any, sir? There's always the question as to whether or not you are in fact viable. Your differences with the Republicans with the rest of the Republicans on this stage has raised questions about whether or not you can actually win the Republican nomination, sir.
Well, we've only had two little primaries so far, so it's pretty premature to decide which one is going to be the candidate. But, you know, when you think about it, if you measured everything I've ever said, every vote I've ever taken against the Constitution, you know, I'm a strict constitutionalist. Are you suggesting the Republicans should write me off because I'm a strict constitutionalist? I'm the most conservative member here. I have voted, you know, against more spending and waste in government than anybody else. So you're suggesting that I'm not electable and the Republicans don't want me because I'm a strict fiscal conservative? Because I believe in civil liberties? Why should we not be defending civil liberties? And why should we not be talking about foreign policy that used to be the part of the Republican Party? I defend the platform. It used to say we got to get rid of the Department of Education. It doesn't say that. Now, we as Republicans went and doubled the size of the Department of Education. So where have we gone? I think we've lost our way. And then the insinuation that I am less Republican because of that?
Congressman, thank you very much. We have to take one more break. We'll be right back with one of the most contentious issues of the day. Stay tuned.
And guess what, Paul? If you get video of Sarah Palin or get a soundbite from her, bring that back to us. You can hold the Ron Paul stuff.
Right? I mean, that guy, right? We'll be right back.
Ron Paul has been cheated this whole time. From day one, this man been ignored by the media. Yeah, Ron Paul supporters arrested.
Back up.
Paul supporters beaten.
Yeah, the guy that got thrown out was standing right over by the door. They freaking whipped him
Really?
to the ground. Like,
What did he do?
He held the Ron Paul sign up.
You had Ron Paul supporters beaten by Mitt Romney supporters, 80-year-old Mitt Romney supporters hitting Ron Paul supporters.
Has physically assaulted me. The video you are watching is being recorded by a woman who says she was just hit in the back. And with a fist to my back. Yes, she most certainly did. This Ron Paul supporter says he was hit in the head by a 70-year-old Mitt Romney supporter. Here's video moments after the altercation as officers defuse the situation.
Shoot, you even had them turning off the lights. You had them cutting off mics.
When the votes were being counted, a strange thing happened. The lights turned off. Not when the votes were being counted, but when they were being collected, the lights turned off.
Oh, the lights turned off. That's like in an old whodunit movie. The lights turn off, and 20 seconds later, somebody has a knife in their chest. Let me ask you this. How long were the lights off?
At least 15, 20 seconds.
Attendees say there was a lot of disagreement throughout the day, but things came to a halt when the lights were turned off and the conference room walls closed on one group.
And they were turning mics off, they turned the lights off, they pulled the walls across to prevent delegates from voting.
You got Mitt Romney people stuffing ballots.
A while later, as we were voting, I heard from some of the other people in my group who sit around me that they did see people stuffing like 8 ballots at a time in the box. So I addressed the state chair, Tom Morrison, and I told him what I told him what I had observed and what I've heard from others. And he basically told me that he would figure it out, you know, to just go sit down and not to pursue this any further. He didn't stop the election. He didn't stop. He didn't ask the guy that was guarding the ballot box. He didn't do anything.
The people are sick of this. That's why you see Ron Paul winning all the delegates in these states. Because the people are going the distance to stop these dang creatures of Washington from getting into office.
So without further ado,
I guess we had a hard time finding a large enough place to meet, and this certainly is.
Romney's campaign couldn't even fill all the chairs in the audience.
you're a phony.
We are not afraid to lose if losing means that our integrity and principles remain with us. Our numbers have tripled this election. We have already won. We have spread the message of individual liberty far and wide. Ron Paul has inspired liberty movements in Africa, in Europe, even in Korea. Only a third of American colonists believed that the Revolutionary War was necessary, and they changed the course of history forever. It is our turn now to do the same. An election outcome will not change that. We are willing to lay down our lives for the cause of liberty if it is required of us, and it may be. I welcome losing if the winning team is not supporting the principles this country was founded on. But I will not go as a lamb to the slaughter and vote for someone who my heart, my gut, and my reason tell me are not right for this country. Like Patrick Henry said, I know not what course others will take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.